I would love to compare the moment that we are in right now in 2025 to the early days of the internet. And I'll ask it as a sort of question where it's like AI is to 2025 as the internet is to what year?
Okay, internet history, I guess it was ARPANET and whatnot in the 70s. But the web, kind of, I think of it as born in Mosaic was launched in 93 or so, if I remember correctly, and then Netscape, however many years after that. I think in some ways you can draw parallels. I don't know, you could say with sort of, I don't know, Transformers in 2017, the first inklings of our new kind of language models. But I think it's really different in many ways. I mean, for one thing, the internet was brilliant and enabled many things, but it wasn't like technically revolutionary in the sense, like with the web, Tim Berners-Lee at CERN, they were just organizing the scientists' data and stuff and sharing it. And they did a great job, and it took off as a viral organizational thing, and it's been phenomenal, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't like nobody would have like questioned whether that was physically possible 5 years before. There was no real limitations. In this case, we don't really know what intelligence is. We don't know how far we can take it. I think a lot of people, myself included, are just surprised how quickly and how far it has ramped. And so that's just an important distinction. I don't even know what the possible peak is. Like you could imagine, everybody could communicate at high speed with everybody else. There'd be, every company would have a website, which they do now.
Yeah.
But you could have realistically imagined that in 1990, let's say, or and even there were things before that, like Gopher. Probably dating myself, but there were things before the web that were kind of like that. But yeah, with AI, you don't know where the peak is, or if there's a peak at all. So that's one important difference. The other important difference, and for better or for worse, this has now gained, profound international attention. I mean, the amount of resources and money and compute and energy that are flowing towards AI is extraordinary. The early days of web, we were a startup. We got a little seed loan, less than $1 million. We were off to the races. I think we got like $10 million in our venture round, and that was that. These days, companies are spending billions and billions of dollars building, the best AI models in the world. And that's a good and bad thing, but it's definitely different.
Yeah.
So I just think it's, in as much as there are parallels, I just think we have no idea where this is going.
So to that end, then, do you believe that AI is fundamentally more of a discovery than an invention? Do you feel like this is some emergent property of the universe and we're just stumbling upon it? Or is this like the ultimate test of human creation?
Well, I guess both of those things that you said are distinct from what the web might have been. I think it's a discovery in the sense like we simply do not know what is the limit to intelligence. There's no law that says, can you be 100 times smarter than Einstein? Can you be a billion times smarter? Can you be a Google times smarter? There's no, I think we have just no idea what the laws governing that are. And so, yeah, I guess you could call it a discovery of sorts. Maybe an analogy is sort of quantum computing, where you don't really know how much computation are you really going to be able to get out of the universe. Kind of the basic laws of quantum mechanics suggests it's extremely high. But you don't know in practice if there are just other limitations you don't know about right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's fascinating. But you ultimately think that AI is a more momentous discovery or invention than the internet.
Yeah, I think the internet was definitely very important, but it was sort of as much a kind of social development, like everybody agreeing to use these protocols and then
Mm,
kind of making their data and systems available for everybody else with, TCP and IP and then, HTML, HTTP, just agreeing on protocols and
Yeah.
allowing it to grow and flourish. Um, maybe akin to how money was an invention thousands of years ago that let people, really trade and stuff. But it's not like, um, it's not neither money nor the internet are testing the limits of the universe.
Mm. But AI is.
But AI is, yeah, because we don't know how intelligent things can be. And we don't know, we know some things about the brain. There's maybe whatever 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion synapses, and they run so fast. But with our computers, can we simulate that? Can we go beyond that? And how far and what would that be like?
Yeah.
We just don't know.
I feel like in that way, the question of, how do we approach this? What do we build? Who should work on this are all questions that are philosophical just as much as they are, technical or economic.
100%. Yeah. Well, consciousness is another kind of thing that gets brought into it.
Yeah.
The internet didn't raise questions of consciousness, for example, but
Right.
If this AI is smart enough and self-aware enough, does that matter? What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You started Google famously in a garage in Menlo Park with Larry Page in 1998. You were just two guys trying to build something because you saw an opportunity. Now Google is a $2 trillion company, which I hope I have this right, 180,000 employees. Maybe
plus or minus.
Plus or minus.
You track it as well as I.
I'm sure riding the AI wave, so to speak, with all that infrastructure has many